Well, good morning. So, with the pain in my shoulder and stuff, I didn't sleep particularly well. I maybe got 4 hours or something. I got enough. You know, it's not like I didn't get anything, but um, so I've decided I'm going to come out. I just think that I think now in retrospect, I injured it worse when I picked up my pack. So I have to engineer that differently too if I'm going to portage. I can't pull 60 pounds up like that and it strained the shoulder worse. Now, I think it's a little better, like just holding the camera here in my arm is much easier than it was last night. So the inflammation's gone down somewhat. So the paddle back out's 4:24 and it's now about, I don't know, 5:45 in the morning or something like that. So I'm going to get sorted here and hopefully be on my way by 8, if not sooner, to take advantage of the calm conditions and see how it goes. But I just think going in further with this issue and the rain coming is just asking for more hardship. So I go sometimes, but it's still what an amazing place out here. And other than that, the trip's been great. It's just one of those things. So anyhow, I'm gonna get organized here and get on our way. So that was my campsite for night one. Pretty good. The tent wasn't too bad. There was enough bare rock for me to sit my chair and table on and do my stuff. That worked pretty well. The water access here was pretty good. The only thing was to beaching the canoe was a bit tricky, but we were able to figure it out. So here we go with day two. In the tent, I had decided was going to go home. My shoulder hurt quite a bit, and I just didn't sleep all that well, and everything else. And I figured that I was being foolish, and maybe I am. But after getting up and getting going and having breakfast, I'm feeling a lot better. So the plan is going to be to continue on here and head towards the Sharp Rock Portage and see how I feel in the 3 or 4K it takes to get there. And if it's still fun, then I might continue on, and if not, I can always turn around. So we've got rain forecast later on, but it's now at 5 o'clock instead of 4, which is good. And since I'm here on the water before 8, which was my original plan one way or the other, we've got a bit of a head start. And if I'm able to maintain my pace and all those good things, then I would theoretically be there in good time, and then be a chance to set up my tarp, get that all figured out for the first time, because I've had it. Boy, I tell you, that camping chair is the best. I have done a lot of this over the years, and sitting in lousy places on rock and all that really gets old. And it was let's see if we can get through here. Left some paint yesterday, but I think maybe we're okay here finally today. Good. Anyhow, so it looks like we've got a bit of a breeze already. I was hoping that wouldn't be the case, but who knows how bad it is. But we'll see. And I'm hoping on Diamond, were I to do it, that I can be along the south shore and the wind shouldn't be a factor. So this is what we're doing, and we're going to give it a go for now. Sort of a temporary thing, but the arm is got a lot more pain-free motion than it had last night. It's quite a significant recovery. So that's good news, and I'm going to have to obviously find a better way to put the pack on my back than what I did yesterday, because that certainly aggravated it. So we'll figure things out. The joys of being 64. Anyhow, see you down. So the beavers have been busy here, so let's see what we can do. Get through this without having to get out of the boat. And the big stick saved the day. There's the portage. Probably the busiest portage in this area, I would think. It's pretty common in here, I think, with everything. So I've been here before. So I was here before in 2007, and I don't remember anything. The log chute I remember a little bit, but I don't remember all of this. I could be in Bohemia, it wouldn't make any difference. No remembrance at all. Yeah, it looks like a half decent landing here, even a dock or something. Wow. So that's 6K from camp to here, and I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm grateful that I've kept going, because I sure didn't feel like it for a while there, but thankfully the arm seems to have recovered pretty decently. We're just going to have to be more intelligent about how we manage the lifting of the pack. So anyhow. So along here was the jack ladder that they had right along where these rocks are. If you came here 25 years ago, you could see it. Now it's here in 07. There There was a bit of it left, but there's not much at all left now. It's pretty well gone. See some wood there against the tree, and that's about it. So that's from where I came. And here's the portage down through there. Just got to take the canoe and we're done. It's nice with those painter ropes on my canoe. They're kind of like a soft bumper. Well, sort of. Almost. So the jack ladder that you can see there to the left, what's left of it, was a structure all the way along here. It's all gone. Okay, so the rain's already starting, so that shows you how useless the forecast is. So up here in these lakes, Diamond and Wakimika and Lady Evelyn and so forth, they changed the registration camping charges. And for many, many years, it was so much a night per person. So when I first started doing this in the early 80s, it was, well, this area was free, but say Algonquin or something was $4 a night. It was like that for quite a while. However, things change and people leave garbage in the backcountry and all the other dramas. And so they changed it. And the fees started going up, $10 a night, 12, whatever. However, 3 or 4 years ago, they decided that at least for some of these parks here, they were going to charge a flat rate of $32 a night. And then you always have to pay the computer fee as well, so that's divided by the number of nights you're up in this area. And then the taxes, of course. And so it's tough on single paddlers. I'm paying $50 for one night at Wakimika. I'd like to, they say it's hard on outfitters where a site would be $90, and I can hear that. So why not say, okay, the maximum was say 32 or 35, start at $12 for a single and go up until you get to your maximum and then stop and cap it. Just don't understand that thinking, but that's the way it goes. Looks like we got some rain here, so I'm gonna have to put my stuff away. A nice little shower here, but it's calm. It's coming straight down. It's supposed to start at 5 o'clock, so I don't know what the weather report is for, but that was checked this morning. But nevertheless, it's nice. So the one thing that would be nice for me is if this happens now, and by the time I get to Wakimika, this is finished with, because it's supposed to end. The forecast was from about 5 until 10 or 11 tonight, so 6 hours. So we'll see what we get at the other end. It's a hauntingly beautiful place here, you know, the rain, but it's just a steady downpour, and the rain on my legs, it's cool, but it's not cold, and the water's calm, and we're just chugging along here at 5.1 or 2. I'm not pulling that hard, my arm feels pretty good, and I think it looks a little brighter up ahead, so hopefully we may get through this before we get to Wakimika. So the rain was, you can see it behind me there, came through and was maybe a half an hour of it, I guess. Had some, came down pretty good there for maybe 15 minutes. Soaked me and put maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 millimeters of water in the canoe. But that seems to be it for now. And we've even got patches of blue sky, which would be great. If there's one case where it would be wonderful if the weather was wrong. So we'll see. But nevertheless, I love this lake. It's just beautiful here. And you really feel north, you know, in this section. So there's going to get a little closer to Wakimika still, and then I'm going to have lunch before the portages. But we've had a good start today, and we're in now almost 3 hours. We've gone almost 11K, and that includes the portage, which was, you know, takes longer. I'm pretty happy with it. So far, a pretty nice day. So it's a rarity up here in Temagami where there's so much rock. But these look like natural sand beaches, so we're going to take advantage and have lunch here. It's just an easy way to get the canoe out of the water, and hopefully this all works great. So one of the things I always find amazing about backcountry travel is the variability of it. So you've got just in the, what, 4 hours or so I've been going today. So this morning it was still and clammy and very damp, and I don't care for clammy myself. And you could feel it on your skin and everything. Then we got, and of course, when you get to the portage, because it's clammy and damp like that, you get a lot of mosquitoes. So that was yet another thing. Then we get into Diamond and the first bit, and we get rained on pretty good. And now I'm out here and it's beautiful. The sun's trying to get through. I don't know if we're done with the rain. It'd be nice if we were. And then the air seems drier too. So there's this wonderful variability that, you know, there's the old saying, if you don't like what's happening, wait 2 hours. Now that isn't always true, of course, but it's certainly, I would say today it's like wait 30 minutes. But it's pretty amazing how that goes. So in all the places I've been, I've only seen this feature here, what I call a boulder bar. And it's just this ridge of boulders coming up out of Diamond Lake. Now I saw it first in '07, and I think at that time my memory makes me think it was higher than it is now. Whether the lake is lower or there's been changes with ice and winter, or my memory is the problem, either way. But I was looking forward to seeing this again because it was such a striking feature compared to everything else. So I hope you enjoy it.
what you're doing. I'll check my map first, just to be sure.
This is a small lake between two portages to get to Wakimika, and the second portage is about there. And so we have to carry and then put in the water, do a little bit, and then another carry about the same length. So portages in Temagami are often very rugged with rocks and sharp rocks on the trail. Temagami doesn't have the same amount of soil, let's say, like Algonquin might have, just the way things turned out. And so this is an example of what I like to call a typical one. And you really got to be careful. You sure don't want to fall on any of this stuff. So I'm going back for the canoe, and I'll show you some of the trail as I do it. This path has been used for generations, but rocks, of course, don't wear down because people are walking on them. So the trail's obvious. It's just that it's pretty rugged, as you can see here. You have to carry your pack, canoe, what have you, over this stuff and not wipe out. And here's the last bit of it leading to the, you can see my pack in the distance. Here's the portage. You see the little yellow sign right about there. And have to figure out how to get out of the water here. That's the next step to Wakimika. So I got the boat out with the plant, but I wiped out almost to ended up in the lake and almost lost the canoe. So it was would have got it one way or the other, but it turned out all I got was one boot in the water, so I think we did okay. So looking at the map with this portage, it looks like there's a rough beginning and a rough end, and in between there's a road or something. So that should be awfully nice for walking for probably 3/4 of it. So we'll see what happens. So I might bring my stuff to the top of the hill first and then see from there. The upper reaches of Lake Wakimika, so we're just paddling this direction there, and that'll get us to the bigger lake. I had to take my cell phone off the post. The mount is failing, and I'm afraid the phone's going to end up in the lake. So we'll have to do it another way from now on. So anyhow, it's we're in this now 22 today with 3 to go ish, depending on what site I choose. Hopefully here with the price, there won't be too many people, and we'll go from there. Wow, that's amazing. Just absolutely just enough water to get me through. Isn't that rude? That is awesome. Beautiful sandy beach here at the north end of Wakimika anyway. Welcome to Lake Wakimika, folks. Beautiful here. Okay, I'm here at this small island site at the south end of Wakimika. Looks very nice. My $50 campsite. So let's have a look. So we have living room furniture with a fireplace and a nice lake view, so that's nice. See what else we can find. And a toilet, but of course, no flush. And trails to the different viewpoints. Looks like a fine site. So now we're gonna so this area right here looks good for the tent, and I think that there's enough trees I should be able to rig my tarp. So I'm going to get at it and show you what it looks like later on. So today was quite a day. I started off convinced that I was just going to go home. I even put the route into my GPS. But when I had my breakfast and, I don't know, my arms started feeling better. Like I couldn't hold the camera like I am right now last night. And I've traveled 27 kilometers today and my arm actually feels better than it did yesterday. So I'm grateful, and I'm really glad that I continued with my trip. I'm sitting here on a nice little island campsite in Wakimika Lake. It's just sprinkling. So we've had more rain than they said we would have, but now it's raining kind of when it said it would. And yeah, I'm just slowly making my dinner here. And I've got a protein drink. I've got a muffin. I'm gonna make a sandwich. I've got some candy, and I've got a pudding cup, and see how that goes. I find on these things, it's funny how you eat more when you're doing something mental than when you do something physical. We'll see how this turns out when I get home, I guess. But right now I feel pretty good, and I was awful thirsty by the end. What I generally do, because I've got the gravity water filters, I make a full bottle of Gatorade before I go and try to make it through to the campsite. And I think if I can leave on these sites early, say before 8 o'clock like I did today, you get a lot done before, you get too blasted. And I was here around 4 o'clock, so I've already had a chance to have a swim and clean up, get the gunk off, and get new clothes on, and get myself secured, the canoe tied off, everything the way I want it for tonight. I even got my tarp up. I'll show that to you in a little while. First time ever, and I'm really pleased how it rigged. It's those little aluminum cleats, they work real smart. We'll see how it is overnight if there's any wind, but right now I pretty like it. I put it over my tent just for something to do because I had enough trees there. I would have been just as happy to cook under it and put the tent somewhere else, but the way it turned out, that was the coincidence of the trees and the reasonably level place to put the tent. So there you go. Anyhow, so just to say, sometimes it just depends on how the body works and what you want to do. And I'm not trying to sit here and say, I'm a Marine and I'm just shave with a blowtorch, because I don't. And I try to run my trips as responsible, and got family who care about me, and I'm not going to go out here and be silly. It doesn't mean things can't go wrong, but I'm not going to court it. So if my arm had hurt as much this morning as it did last night, I would have gone home. But after breakfast and starting to paddle, I could raise my arm without pain and do stuff like right now here. There it goes. See? And it didn't hurt at all. And couldn't do that last night. So I'm really pleased how well it recovered. And again, I'm limited because of my other stuff to taking Tylenol, which doesn't have any kind of anti-inflammatory in it. So whatever happened, my body fixed it. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I must say, given that I'd already done a couple 100 kilometers of paddling this year, to have trouble on the first day was pretty disappointing. So I'm glad that, it just worked out the way it has. And so tomorrow, hopefully, off to see the big trees. That was the aim of the trip, along with so many other things. And boy, what a variation today. First in my condition and the weather. I had all that really close, humid, dank air when I started this morning. Then we got rained on. Then it stopped. Then we've had this cloud, but the air feels a little different right now than it did earlier. Now, that may also be because I had a bath, but anyhow, we'll see how it goes. But there should be more of a breeze here tonight than there was at the other site, which was much more, there was nowhere near the big water near it and stuff. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. It's supposed to go down to 10. So we may find a use for the fleas after all. But anyhow, I'm pretty happy here on Wakimika Lake. We're promised beautiful weather tomorrow. So let's hope that's what's going to happen. And that's the direction we're headed tomorrow. And then, so the site's basically set up now. I wanted to test my tarp. I've never used it before, so I just rigged it over these trees, and just happened that underneath it is the only place where the tent is reasonably level. I emphasize the word reasonably. So hopefully it won't be too hard to sleep. Now these tent strings have these amazing little clips. There's nothing to them. I got them off of the internet. Gosh, they worked great. And so you can just wrap the string around the pole to the extent you need to, and when you get to the right, you can clip it. So it doesn't matter how far. You can double it up like I did over here, whatever. It's pretty nice. And then there's the little home away from home here. It's nice and quiet. There's no wind right now. It's supposed to get down to about plus 10 tonight, later on I expect. So we'll see how that goes, but it's right now it's very pleasant. It's about 18 or something like that. Beginning my day at the small campsite marked item 1 on the map at the Lower Narrows, and deciding to continue with my trip, I paddled to the Shop Rock portage marked item 2. Paddling through beautiful Diamond Lake and going through a 30-minute rain shower, I then took my lunch at the sandy beach at item 3. The boulder bar / esker was found at item 4. I then completed the 2 portages marked item 5, leading into Wakimika Lake, and ending at my campsite marked item 6. For the day, with a pack weight of about 55 pounds to start, and a canoe with paddles and life vests attached at 74 pounds, I covered 25.9 kilometers over 7 hours and 48 minutes, including all breaks. I completed 3 double portages for a total walking distance of 2.6 kilometers, and paddled 23.3 kilometers. I was glad that my shoulder recovered and I was able to continue with my trip. Thank you very much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it.